Hi everyone, this is Sharon. Today I am here to share a custom prayer journal with you. This journal I made for Steph, and Steph informed me that she is a descendant of Saint Margaret of Scotland, or also known as Queen Margaret of Scotland. So what I did was I included several images of Saint Margaret in here, as well as a few images of chapels and abbeys from Scotland as well as a nod to her heritage. So this is what the cover looks like. I've got a sari and a twine ribbon. I was feeling twine and sari for this one, so I included both of those. And then I also have this little rhinestone charm with a little cross on it as well. So for the cover of the journal, I used this 1800s book cover. It's just beautiful. It's got this really pretty blue and gold marbled cover. It's got some leather binding, nice leather spine, and then the back is similar to the front. And then on the front of the cover, I just embellished it a little bit with this image of Saint Margaret. And then I just added a little bit of this vintage fabric behind there with the stripes, and then some antique lace around the outside of that as well. Then as we head on into the inside covers also had this beautiful marble paper, so I left that as is, and then again used some of that sort of ticking like linen fabric to cover the spine. I just added this angel image on the inside of the front cover, and then on the inside of the back cover I also have another really beautiful angel image. So I've used a variety of digital artists again in this journal. I've got a lot of angel images from Raindrop Lila's Angel Collection. I've got some background pages from Everlasting Journals, so just a nice eclectic mix of images. I've also pulled a number of kind of medieval manuscript images throughout the journal too that I used. So I really love this one for the opening page, and then at the bottom I have this little cluster with a wax seal on there. And then here on this page, got this decorative element there, and then this postcard of the interior of a church. That is Strasbourg. And then here I've got this foreign book. I think it's oh, I don't even know. I think it's a Russian dictionary. Pretty sure, but I'm not positive. And then I just did a little bit of stenciling on the top. And then here I have this little shallow pocket on the bottom, and I just created this little document holder. And I've got this holy card, or not a holy card. I think this was a page from a little prayer book. And then inside, I lined it with this beautiful paper. And then I just created this little side tuck in there, and then put in a few pieces. This is a prayer book, a Polish prayer book page that I got from my friend Catherine, and this little journaling card too. And then the back of that, I've just got some decorative papers on there as well. Over on this side of the page, I created a side tuck with this image of the angel, and then in there I tucked this image, one of the images I have of Versailles, and just back that with some plain paper. And then this is some Florentine paper that I used for the page. On this side of the page, I just embellished this pocket with a little bit of tatted lace and some velvet ribbon. And then in there, I did a little stamping on the back side and added this tag. And then I thought this ledger page, why can I never think of the word ledger? This ledger page, I thought the blue on there really complemented this page quite nicely. And then here, I added this pretty image. And then on this side of the page, I've got this corner tuck I created. This is an Italian postcard. I believe this might be one that I acquired when I was in Italy. I found a whole bundle of them at a little antique shop in Florence, and I've been using some of those in my prayer journals. I've got this little piece of antique fabric on the top of the pocket. And then I've got this journaling card. And then this is a sheet of... It's like from an antique song book, a Christian song book. On this page, I added this, I don't even know what you call it. I think it was some type of ribbon, but it's got, you know, a little bit of, I don't know what that is exactly, but it feels like twine. And then I just added this label to the bottom of that page. And over here, I clipped on this journaling card. I just punched a couple of holes in there and then strung some ribbon through it. Added this piece of book spine on the top for the tab. And then I wrapped it around. So on this side, I've got this little shallow pocket on the side. And then I've just got a little journaling card in there. And then I backed it with this 1898 ledger paper. Here on this pocket, I embellished a little bit with some decorative stitching on cheesecloth. And then I inserted this tag. Here I just added some lace to the top of that page. You could use it as a corner tuck. And then on this pocket on this side, I took a little prayer book that I had. It's called a Mother's Prayer Book, and I just used it as the cover for a little writing spot. There's some paper there to write on, and then that's what the cover looks like. And then I also tucked into that pocket this image, beautiful image, and then this side, it's got a Bible verse and a prayer at the bottom. Here again, I've got some pretty stenciling on the page, and then this manuscript looking page. And I love this image from Everlasting Journals. And then I had to hinge the pages because they're wider than my 8.5 by 11 paper. So a lot of times when I do that, I will just punch the edge of the page that I glue together just to give a little bit of a decorative edge. And then here I just added some trim on there. This is the title page of the book that I used for the cover. I think, does it have a date on there? Yeah, but I offhand can't read it. I think it's 18... Don't know. I have to look that up. I can't read it off the top of my head. Okay, on this side, I just added a little embellishment on there and then created this little card. And then in here, I've got this little pocket, and then I just inserted a couple of little cards that I made. Here I've got this linen piece that I used for the pocket, and I just did some slow stitching to adhere this extra piece of antique lace on there. And then this background is some Florentine paper, and then I just inserted this little card, St. Francis. And this also came from Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. And then on this page, I did some stenciling, just some faint stenciling so it can still be used for writing. And then here I've got a little journaling spot that I created. This image came from the Graphics Fairy. I believe it's an image of maybe Florence. And then I just did a little stenciling and added some glittery ink on there. Here I used an antique music sheet and then just added this pretty image of the angel. And then in the center of the signature, I've got these two pockets that I lined with some nice fabric on the top. And then I added a couple of tags in those pockets. So I have this one with the chalice. And then I just added some sari trim ruffle at the top for the tab. And then this back image is done, I think it's called Dunblane Abbey, and that's in Scotland. So I like that picture. And then this one has this pretty image. Here on this page, again, I continue to use that stenciling that I did on that sheet. And I've got this little envelope, pocket envelope kind of a thing that I made from a window envelope. I just collaged that front and back. And then in there, I created a little tag. And it's got my favorite image of a nun from the Graphics Fairy. I just absolutely love the blues in this, very subtle. And then I just collaged the back side. And then on this page, I've got another linen pocket. Again, some lace that I stitched on. And then in there, I've got this little card of St. Michael, the Archangel, and then this journaling card. And then I printed this on, this is locked up paper. It's kind of like a handmade paper. It's got a lot of nice texture to it. And then this is a page, I believe, from a book that I have on the life of Christ. So there's an image there, and then another black and white image on this side. And then over here, I created, excuse me, a side pocket with this beautiful floral image, or side tuck, I guess. And then this is what the back of that page looks like. And then I've just got this little journaling card. And then this is a sheet. It's backed on some old German book page. And it's a photo transfer I did. It's actually of a photo of a Catholic school, like a grand opening. I think it's from the early 1900s. If you look closely, you can see there's a band on this side, and then on this side, all the school children are lined up outside. And then I also tucked in there this book page from an old book that I have. And that, it's got a little bit of writing on the back. And then I just added this paper doily at the front of this signature. And then for this tab, I've got a little bit of velvet and lace, and I attached a little piece of jewelry on there and a medal. And then over here, I clipped to this page a couple little tags that I made. And this is a holy card that I made as a journaling card. A holy card image, not an actual original. And I just love, this is from a calendar that I had, this beautiful image of the birds. And then over here, I created a top tuck and just added a little bit of embossed paper on there. And then the back of the page is actually a vintage map from the 1940s that I had of it's called the Bible lands, I believe. And so you can see some of the Middle Eastern, along the Mediterranean Sea, some of the areas there on that. And then you'll see the other half on the other page, side of the page. So in there, I tucked this little postcard. I think it's from the 1950s. It was posted in Finland, 1950. And I just use a little bit of this hemp string that I got from Winnette. and then use this cross stamp to embellish it a little bit. And then I have this original holy card. It's French, and I just love the image on the front. This almost looks to me like maybe some advertising or something. I'm not sure what it says on the back, but I just love this image on the front. Here I've got a little lace embellishment on that page. And then this is what this page looks like, and I attached this antique postcard of the interior of this church, and this is in Burlington, Wisconsin. And then this little tag, I added some ribbon on the top. I've got some treated napkin where you can write underneath, and then just a little collaging on the back side. On this side of this ledger paper, I just punched out this paper and embellished it a little bit. And then in the center of the signature, I took this image of the inside of a cathedral and just cut it in half and made 2 pockets. And then in those pockets, I created a couple of journaling cards. I believe these images are from St. Paul. I just added, again, a little bit of lace on the bottom that I got from Catherine, and then some fabric tabs on the top. Backed them with these floral images. And then on the strings, I always forget to bring my string dangles up. I've got another little medal and then some beads. This page I just embellished a little bit with this button and some trim. And then on this page I added this lacy flower. And then here, this top tuck is some embossed paper. I just added a little bit of ink to it to give it some dimension. And then, as I mentioned, this is the other side of that map I was talking about. So it's Bible lands and the cradle of the Western civilization, I think it says. And then in that tuck, I've got this large journaling card, this beautiful blue tatted lace from Catherine. And then I just backed it with this coffee dyed tissue paper. And then I added this bookmark. The other side of that pretty bird image. On this side of the page, again, it's got a manuscript looking background. I took this piece of linen, it's cross-stitched linen, and just embellished that with some really pretty velvet and lace. And then in there I tucked this. I believe this image came in a Florentine paper pack from Rachel at Roxy Creations. I just added some gold photo corners on there, and then there's a place to write on the back. And then I've also tucked in that pocket this antique invoice. It's a French one from 1912. On this page, I just embellished a little bit at the top with this rhinestone crown. I just love that. And added some of this ticking fabric. And then here, this is, I think it's a book page or a calendar image or something. This I got from Leslie at 507 Willow House. And I thought that fit perfectly in this prayer journal. And then on this side, I just lined it with this floral image. And that flips out. And then in there, I tucked this French photo of a church in a little village, or a large village, I guess. Does it say? Yeah, but I can't really read it. Dykirch. And then here is a bookmark, kind of a vintage one that I had in my collection. Oh, and then I did a little light stenciling with some gold ink in the background, just very subtle. And then this is some 1700s book page. It's a nice rag paper, and I just added a little bit of trim to the top of that page. And then on this side, I folded it up and in and did some decorative stitching along the side. And then I've added some nice French fabric, some velvet ribbon, and this button image. And then in there, I tucked one of those Italian postcards that I acquired in Florence. And then I just have this book page with this embossed frame on it. Here I've got, it's one of those like tissue paper pages you see in books that are next to like a photo plate or an etching or something like that. So I stuck that in there. And then again, this is one of the original book pages from this cover. I just kind of punched the edge of that. And then I reinforced the center of that with some cheesecloth. I added a couple of little music images onto the strings. I created this pocket at the bottom of the page, and then in there, this is like a prayer card that I found in an old German Bible. And I'm sure it's got to be at least from the 1800s. And then this is a little prayer book page. And then you can see some of the images from the original book page. Here's another one. And then on this side, in this pocket, here's another image of Margaret, Queen of Scotland. I just added a little velvet tab to the top. And then I have another window envelope pocket, and in there I've got this tag and then this image. Here I took some antique wallpaper that I had and just embellished it a little bit. I believe I made that as a pocket. Yeah, I think so. So this is an extra little pocket, and actually this is a teeny tiny pocket in there as well. And then behind that belly band, I tucked this journaling card that I made of this church image. Oops, got that upside down. There we go. And then on the back side, I just had this little piece of linen that I stamped. And then I also tucked in there this book page from a book that I have on Paris. So we have these nuns walking into the church. And then this side. Here's the other side of that book page image I got from Leslie. And then again, I just did a little bit of stenciling in gold on the inside of that. Here I added some sari trim on the bottom to make this beautiful pocket. And then this is what the page looks like. Really pretty image. And then in there I tucked, this is one of those little trading cards that I made in one of my tutorials. Just got this little piece of lace in there and this image. And then I've got a prayer book page with some really beautiful illustrations on it. And then I also made this journaling card from this cover of a prayer book called the Magnificat. Just had this really beautiful image on the front. And I just embellished that and did a little collaging on the back. And then as we head into this last signature, we've got these images. Got some straw paper here, and I just embellished a little bit with some decorative stitching on there. And then I tucked onto that page, or clipped on, this little piece. It's got a B for Steph's initial, last name initial. And then this kind of scrap image piece. You can use that for journaling as well. Here I created a belly band with this image. And then behind there, I've got this duplicate of a First Communion certificate that actually belonged to my grandfather. And it's just got the most beautiful image on the front. These were quite elaborate back in the day. This one is dated 1915, and it's actually in German. And then I just embellished the back with a little bit of stenciling and washi tape. And then this page I embellished again with some stencil paste. It's a really beautiful book page from the Life of Christ book that I have. And then over here on this page, I created a top tuck with that beautiful image and just embellished it with lace. And then I've got a corner tucked down here to keep everything tucked in. And this is made from a piece of linen with some pretty lace on the edge. So in there, I've got this prayer card. And then in this tuck, I've got this page from an old Bible that I had in my possession. And it's dated 1935. I just love the image. And then it's got this beautiful picture on the back of Joseph being sold by his brothers. And this is an image of the chapel at Holyrood, I believe, in Scotland. So I thought that was fitting for Steph's journal. I love this image from Everlasting Journals. And then here I took this old kind of tapestry tab and used it as a page tab. Here I created a side tuck, and then in there I've got this little journaling card. I backed it onto a vintage French wall calendar. It's like a very hard kind of chipboard, and I just left the original calendar image on there and just added a label. And then I added another image of a First Communion certificate. This one belonged to my grandmother, and this one's dated 1925. Again, just a really beautiful image on there. And then on the back, I again did some stenciling and embellished with washi tape. Here I just did a little embellishment with one of my stamps at the bottom. And then I created a side tuck with this angel image, which I love. And then in there, I've got this journaling card. Again, I just used some of this cross-stitch linen, added on there for embellishment, and then this beautiful image of Mary and Jesus and John the Baptist. And then I just kind of embellished that a little bit. And then onto this page, I clipped this, another holy card. And that has taken us to the back side. So I hope you love this journal, Steph. I really like how it turned out. I love making prayer journals, so they're always great fun to see what I can gather up and put together. I thank you for joining me today, and until next time, bye-bye.